Welcome, everybody. We are live, Win Daily Sports pre-lock show. And again, we got some games tonight. Follow us at windailysports.com, at Win Daily Sports on all social formats. As always, hashtag FFVP, hashtag Props for Profit. Make sure you hit that subscription button. Make sure you smash the like button. It's Tony, it's Ghost. We got some good value. There's a lot more news, I feel like, tonight that's already been cemented than was last night. I think there'll be some other things. Maybe a couple guys are listed as doubtful, especially in that Miami game that we'll need to talk about. I think we got a really good game to look at when we talk about, number one, you got the LA game, but it's not like it used to be because the Lakers stink right now. But I do like the 8:30 game. We talk about Sacramento and San Antonio, and how can you not want to watch Steph versus Luka at 8:30? I think that's going to be, just from a basketball standpoint, Ghost, that's going to be a really good game to watch.
Yeah, anytime you get two of the best point guards, if not the two best point guards in the league, going at one another, it's always one that I'll tune into. So Luka versus Steph in prime time, it's going to be fun.
Yeah, man, it's going to be really interesting. We're going to get into it like we always do. Again, make sure you watch on, whether it be replay, you watch live. Make sure you're following us. Make sure you read the article for the NBA Ghosts Gems. Obviously, every single day I talk about it. In nauseum, drops 10 a.m. every single day. It's there for your information. We're not going to rehash this here. We're going to talk about some cores. We're going to talk about some values. We're going to talk about some same game parlays, maybe some plus money bets. We got a lot of stuff going on. But Ghost, right off the top, last night you were all in. Got to give you your props. You were all in on the Jarrett Allen train. You smashed your bet. You had him in core. I mean, you knew $7,800 Jarrett Allen. You knew to go right into Mr. Allen's neighborhood, and he did well last night.
Yeah, it's a matchup that just graded out really well for me, right? Anytime you get a true big man against Charlotte and one that could handle the ball fairly decently, not to the skill set of a D.Sabonis or a Nikola Jokic, but he can handle it fairly well when he gets in the post. And that first stretch was absolutely huge in that 8 or 9 minute burst before he got off the court there. I think he went 10-2 or something in that first 8 minute stretch. So it was really big. Hit our 27.5 points plus rebounds there too. And I also double dipped the chip a little bit and grabbed this over 15.5 points. So it was a good night for exposure to Jarrett Allen.
Yeah, listen, and that's what you do, and that's one thing I love about it, and I'm trying to emulate myself on some of your theories where you do take whoever, one or two guys in your core, you're so sure about it that you get them on the prop market as well. So it's a good way to double dip. And listen, we can't help that LaMelo Ball got in foul trouble, right? I mean, what's the odds of that? You can't help that, right?
Yeah, I was watching that game too, right? Because obviously I got a really early bedtime there Monday to Thursday. So it was one of the games that I tuned into. And it was just so frustrating, man. Like he grabbed 2 quick fouls in the first five minutes, and they were 4 minutes. And they took him off. Obviously, he's got 2 fouls in 4 minutes. And he sat out till midway through the second. And I was like, okay, he's going to come out firing. The very first possession when he gets back on the court, he picks up his third. So he goes right back to the bench. At this point, he's only played 4.5, 5 minutes. And then it was maybe the third or fourth possession of the second half, and he picked up his 4th foul. He had 4 fouls in 7 minutes, never took the court again. So it was one of those games where the foul trouble bug was biting, but I can't really predict that stuff. And that's what it comes with in this industry. It's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's all about you win some, you lose some, right? I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, sometimes you and again, I was sweating last night, Ghost, because I'm gonna put up here. I got this again at the last couple minutes, okay, of the game. So I hit this last night. I throw, because now I'm excited. Now I'm going all in on the Sixers, right? So I thought the 22.5 number for Harden was really low, but the assists, he had 8 assists, and at 34 seconds left in the game, he got number 9, man. Like, I mean, it was
like a sweat that one too. And I know a lot of people had 9.5 also, and like that was definitely a prop that a lot of people were sweating out, because I know some people grabbed it at 8.5, some people went 9.5, and they just like everyone around him wasn't finishing as much as they usually do. And then there's a couple plays where like it was maybe a second too late to qualify for an assist down to beat in the post, and like you just can't grab those assists when it's that long in between touches. But he ended up getting it, and that's what matters. That was a big hit, man. That was a really big hit.
Yeah, I just realized I never took the overlay off to show that, so that looked like it looked like a mess. So, I apologize for that. It wasn't really supposed to look like that. Okay, like just so you know, I do know how to work this, and sometimes, man, there's so many tabs. Ghost knows when he runs this thing. There's so many tabs.
There's so much clicking to do, man. It's actually wild. Like especially when I'm hosting and like if you're at the game. And I'm hosting with Adam, like obviously it's us two having a conversation. So I'm like, I have to like stop sometimes mid-sentence, and I'm like, hey, let me find what I'm about to put up before I start talking about it, because there's so much clicking to do.
It's crazy. It makes you nuts, man. It does. It makes you nuts. I'm telling you, I go loony. Now, this was my other one I put in, and this emulated a lot of stuff that we talked about yesterday. I know I had that DK special with Buddy Hield, Cole Anthony, Halliburton, right? So here's the thing. It was just Cole Anthony. He didn't even hit one, Ghost. None. Zero.
Overtime, too. That game went to OT, and I think he played almost like just under 40 minutes. And he went I think he went 0 for 5 from deep in that game. I was like,
that was a heartbreaker, man.
Yeah.
That was a heartbreaker. But like we say, man, like, that is the industry. You live and die. It's fun. I mean, I was sweating all night. I got to watch the Sixers win. Which was a good thing, right? I was never worried. Adam checking in says, go Sixers hard and beat all the way to the finals, baby. Yeah, I'm rolling. Let's go with our 76ers. But let's talk into some DFS. Let's look at some of these matchups. And right away, last night, you and Adam specifically were keened on that Cleveland Charlotte game tonight. I'm not sure, what game you're really leaning towards most. I like Sacramento, San Antonio. What would be, just say, your one game that you're looking at, you're kind of pinpointing?
Sacramento, San Antonio rates out really well for me. I'll let you touch on that one. I'll touch on the Memphis Boston game because everybody's looking to get a piece of that one, and I'm getting pieces of it, just not what the rest of the field is doing. So you guys will see that with the core too, and that with Jaylen Brown out for the Celtics, he's not exactly known as a defensive player. If you ask, the average NBA fan, or even those that are really deep diving into analytics on the daily, it's like no one's going to say Jaylen Brown's an elite defender, but they're not going to say he's a bad one either. But truth be told, their defense allows nearly 5 points more per game when he's off the court, right? And that goes into, I'm not just saying in games that he misses altogether. That goes pretty much when you take the minutes that he's off the court. Essentially, long story short, when Jaylen Brown is off the court, the Celtics defense gets a lot worse. Now you got Ja coming into town, and you got Desmond Bane coming into town. Steven Adams doing those outlet passes. Brandon Clark off the bench. Like, this Memphis team plays fast, and they got a lot of firepower there. So that's where we're going to want a piece of this game, just with everybody playing Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, and a little bit of Robert Williams, not all that much. I'm looking to Derrick White a ton in this spot because they need somebody that could score the ball. And as much as I'm a huge Marcus Smart guy since his days in college, that was a wild March Madness tournament to watch. Marcus Smart was absolutely electric. And Derrick White is going to be that scorer for them off the bench. It's not going to be a Neesmith. It's not going to be any one of those guys, right? They're going to try and match Memphis 1-for-1 with their 3-and-D wings, but they need scorers to replace Jaylen Brown. That's exactly what Derrick White gives them. So I like Derrick White off the bench a ton in that one. And then if you can get to Ja, it's not exactly the best spot for him on paper. Realistically, when you watch the games, that will always take precedence for me over analytics, right? So everyone knows I'm a big analytics guy, and I support all forms of analytics, but if you look at what Ja Morant is doing right now, you can't say to completely fade him just because it's not a good spot and Boston's defense is number one since the calendar year and this. I understand all that's what we write about every day. But he's just on another planet right now. So if you get to Ja Morant, I'm 100% cool with that. But I'm looking at Desmond Bane. I'm looking at Steven Adams. Everybody's going to be playing Clint Capela at the center position. So if you're not going Robert Williams because you're going Derrick White, if you're doing vice versa, you can go Steven Adams, pair him with Derrick White. You could go Desmond Bane and pair him with Robert Williams, right? Like it's that guard center combo that I'm really looking at. I can't get behind an extremely high rostered Jason Tatum and Marcus Smart in this spot. If you end up going 10K for Jason Tatum, the numbers do support that. He's going to be the alpha on offense, as he should be every single night, but I just can't get there. I can't stomach the fact that he's likely going to be the highest rostered player on this slate. And at 10K, he doesn't exactly have the highest floor to ceiling ratio for me to support that.
Yeah, listen, what you said about, on paper as opposed to what he's doing is 100% correct. I mean, I take that and I compare it to football when you have a guy, just let's just say the GOAT, right? Say Tom Brady. Oh, well, he's playing the Steelers and, they have a tremendous defense. Bro, it's Tom Brady. I get it. I can't fade him completely here. I mean, maybe if I think there's another, you can't just say, oh, this guy's going to blow this week. Like, it's just, what's the odds?
And that's what it is, right? Like, we need to find that healthy balance between analytics and actually watching the games. Yes. And when you watch them every single day and you see these teams play live, there's a lot of things that you can see that won't be supported by analytics necessarily. And you look at someone's defense, you're like, man, they must play really bad defense. They rank in the bottom 5. Maybe they just have one weak link out there. Maybe they play their bench too much, right? Or in the Knicks case, it's Tibbs playing the starters too much because their starters are constantly minus 20 every single game, right? Like, it's not completely reflective. It's an indication, but it's not 100% reflective all the time. So if you get the Ja Morant tonight, I'm 100% okay with that.
Yeah, and I just want to watch Ja Morant, so I'm good. Like, I just want to watch my man Ja play. But you mentioned, we mentioned White, you mentioned the course. Let's get right to it, Ghost. We'll go right to you here. Oh man, you got a hot hand in there tonight, man. I like it.
Yeah, anytime I can play Dejounte Murray, you guys have been knowing that for the past 3 years. I'm always going to play Dejounte Murray, especially against a team like Sacramento that they play fast. They don't play any defense. It's exactly what we want in terms of game environments for Dejounte Murray. The rebound opportunities will be huge. Sacramento does like to go small as well with Sabonis at the 5. So Poel's going to be out there a ton, and he'll be able to match Sabonis pretty much minute for minute. As long as his cardio holds up there, he'll be out there for a healthy chunk of minutes against Sabonis. But Dejounte Murray is the second leading rebounder on this team, and he'll be able to dish a plenty in terms of assists as well. The scoring will be there. De'Aaron Fox is I'll say below average to be nice defender. So it's a great spot to attack with Dejounte Murray. I put Derrick White in there, and I didn't just talk about that for X amount of minutes just because he is in my court tonight. And I want exposure to Memphis, Boston, but it's not going to be in the form of a chalky Jason Tatum. And I don't like the way my roster looks with Jason Tatum and Dejounte Murray together. And there's no way I'm passing up playing Dejounte Murray tonight. So it's going to be Derrick White for me. I'm hoping that a lot of people end up falling for that green checkmark syndrome and don't play him, on top of the fact because that he's likely not going to start in this game. I do think Grant Williams ends up starting. Derrick White, I don't want to say I'm all in, but I'm pretty invested when we get to props for profit as well. Gabe Vincent, hopefully you've been watching the show for the past week. He's been our FFVP at low rostership. He's been the chalk of the night the following night after that when we were on him the day before and he came through again. Kyle Lowry's still out, and a ton of these Miami Heat players popped up questionable. Look, it's normal routine for Miami to do this on back-to-backs, right? So when you look at what they do on back-to-backs, Spo will always list nearly everybody questionable. I don't know if it's a tactic. I don't know if it's what it is. I don't know if it's because they don't partake in morning shoot-around. Every single one of them, Miami Heat are very, discreet when it comes to that organization in general. But whether every single one of them play or every single one of them sit, either way, I'm cool with eating Gabe Vincent chalk tonight because he's just been a beast for us all week, and I'm not getting away from that either way. And then the fourth member of my core is going to be one. So I put the slash there. It's not both of these guys. It's one. Clint Capela or Boganovic. So 2 reasons to play Clint Capela. Number one, if you're not going with the center combos that I illustrated before with Robert Williams or Steven Adams, because we want that back and forth between Memphis and Boston. If you're not getting it with a center position or you're going double center, I like Clint Capela. The little star for me, little asterisk here, is that I would much prefer Capela with Trae Young active. Right, so that's the only thing. I don't know if Trae Young's going to play in this game. I'm not going to try and be a hero here and say like, oh, I Trae Young's absolutely playing. Trae Young's not playing. Like, you guys will see that in the model. If he's active, I like Clint Capela a ton. If not, I am going to Boganovic. And I absolutely love Boganovic here as a primary ball handler because all he does is look for his own shot. And that's exactly what we want. We don't want him kicking it out to Kevin Herter, throwing it to Capela in the post. And he doesn't know, I don't want to say he doesn't know how to do that, but it's just a figure of speech. That's not his game. He doesn't do that. He finds his own shot. It's going to be a lot of Capela high screens and Bogdan finding his mid-range, hitting some threes. I like that a ton. They're both the exact same price. It's just a matter of which center you're playing tonight between Robert Williams, Steven Adams, and Clint Capela. If Trae's in, I'm going Capela. If Trae's out, I'm going Bogdan.
It's funny. Bogdan, whatever you want to call him, right? He's one of my hated players, man. When he was in Philly, he was acting like he was like the almighty, trash talking to fans. Like, bro, you're not Reggie Miller. You don't get that kind of credibility in Philly. I'm sorry, it just doesn't happen. And then he came off soft toward that, but then they won. So what am I gonna do, right? I gotta put my tail between my legs and roll with it. So all right, Bogdan, you got me. It's cool, but listen, I love it because when exactly what you said, I look and look who's leading my core, and this has nothing to do with me and Ghost talking. It's listen, that game. I looked at the over and under right now on Draftkings. It's 242. I mean, that's at the 242 and a half. That's a big number. They expect a lot of points. I expect a lot of points. So everything Go said and more. I strictly know how talented Murray is. I strictly know that the Sacramento Kings cannot stop him on a defensive side of the ball. And this could very well be the triple-double night again for Dejounte Murray. And then exactly what we talked about. I'll go to Sabonis first. So my Sabonis pick is 100% based on what happened the other night. So Ghost was all in Sabonis, and just like LaMelo, he got into foul trouble, right? So, but even with foul trouble, okay, even though playing 4 or 5 less minutes in that game, he had 14 boards and 15 points.
He went off in that second half.
Right.
He ended the night with like I woke up and I was like, oh, he put up 45 because I went to bed at halftime and he had 4, 4, and 4.
Yes.
With 3 goals. I was like, I had PRA that night at 39.5. And he finished with 38. And I was like,
it's crazy.
My gosh, what do you do to drop 26 PRA in the second half alone? You know what I mean? Like, do the quick math. 50 plus PRA, guys. That's Luka Doncic props on the books. And those are pretty much, there's maybe a handful of guys that you'll see over 49.5 PRA on a nightly basis.
Yeah, it was a monster second half. And it just shows me that tonight in that team, against that team in that environment with that high point total, listen, I have no reason to believe, you'll see that in props for profit, that he's going to get a ton of boards and a ton of points, especially a ton of opportunities. He could essentially get a triple-double tonight. He had 7 assists the last 2 games. With this kind of game format and this kind of game flow, he very well could get 10. So we'll see. And then one of Ghost's favorites, going to Toronto angle here. And I'm going Scotty Barnes because Adam just checked in. There is no FVP. Fred VanVleet ruled out tonight. OG ruled out tonight. So there's a ton of minutes against a Detroit team at home, right? At home. And Scotty Barnes, 6,400 for me. So I really, really love this value tonight. This is a 40-plus night for Scotty Barnes, for DK, in my opinion. And you're going to see what we just talked about, what Ghost talked about in the back-to-back, is why I'm taking Tyler Herro. Okay? And again, I'm going to predict right now, this is a 50-plus DK night for Tyler Herro. He's going to play a ton of minutes. Brooklyn absolutely stinks. They can't stop anybody right now until they get all their shit together. Tyler Herro, last game, 48 DK, okay, in 35 minutes. He's right on the cusp. This is a 50-plus night for Tyler Herro. It's 6,300. You're good. So for me, Ghost, and for everybody, I'm just letting you know I'm going by matchups. I'm going by minute potential, and I'm looking at 63 and 64. Okay, so I'm looking at that number saying 12-7. I'm getting 100 possible DK points, in my opinion. That's how much opportunity there is for those guys to score DK points tonight. So that's who I'm going with my core. Obviously, we're always different, which is great. So I know a couple guys asked about, is it, are you going Sabonis or Fox? For me, I'm going Sabonis, only because, like I said, of based on last game, how ridiculous he was in the second half. Ghost, is that a question? I mean, Fox or Sabonis in that game? Do you have a preference?
I'm not playing Fox because I'm playing 3 guys that are point guard only eligible. You need to play Malachi Flynn now. He's point guard only.
Yes.
Gabe Vincent is in my core and Dejounte Murray's in my core. So my point guard, my guard spot, and my util spot are all point guards. So I can't play Fox even if I wanted to.
Hey, there's only so many options that we have, right?
That's it, exactly. Over on FanDuel, look, for me again, it's Flynn is priced up a little bit over there, but it really depends on your roster construction. I still, with the amount of guard options that we have, I don't foresee myself playing De'Aaron Fox tonight. I'd rather pay up at forward tonight.
Tonight's a big guard slate, man. Big guard slate.
And there's a lot of value at that position too, right? So you kind of get a bit different by paying up with Dejounte, but you're still getting value guards with Gabe Vincent and Malachi Flynn. And then with everybody paying up for Jason Tatum, come down off the pricing grid a little bit, go Sabonis. Like, it's all about those things where you keep the same structure in your build as the field, if that's what you like to do. And you could just find these, $500 pivots here and there. It'll make you completely different.
So Adam just checking in. He's helping us out in comments. Says Trey going through pregame right now, still game time decision. That's going to be interesting.
The last time he did this, he absolutely buried me. So I kid you not. I was telling Adam, I was like, look, I'm not gonna put it in the chat, and I actually didn't put it in the chat that day. I stuck to him. I was like, I'm not gonna put it in the chat, but like it's not looking good. He was in a sling at morning shoot around. He was in a sling. And then he goes and comes out that night and it says Trae Young is active. And I kind of did like one of these. I was like, what do you mean? And the guy goes out there and drops 45 and 10 like it was nobody's business. I was like, okay, here we go. So I'm going to wait to see on the Trae Young situation. Like I was saying, if Trae's active, I'm playing Clint Capela. If he's not, I'm going Bog. So it's not too big of a decision for me.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a lot of options tonight, right? That's the one good thing. Chris says Thad Young's out. Thad Young
bench
out
is thin. The bench is thin. Nick Nurse doesn't know who his bench is, right? So you're looking at Precious, who will be that number one option coming in for Birch when he gets 3 fouls in 3 minutes, like he does every night. And then, you might see a bit of Banton coming in for Flynn, but they're all going to play 40 minutes. Like that quartet of Siakam, Flynn, Trent, and Barnes are going to play 40 minutes unless they absolutely wax the Pistons. But even then, it's Nick Nurse runs the Stars into the ground. So you might see a bit of Banton off the bench, a bit of Chris Boucher, but it's going to be Birch starting with Precious off the bench, number one. And then you'll see a bit of Boucher and a bit of Banton when the guards get absolutely exhausted.
Checking in. I'm checking all the seeing if there's any other updates here before we go. No, okay. Yeah. So as those Adam, thank you. As those updates come in, obviously let us know. So let's get to the FFVP. Which, listen, last night wasn't a great FFVP night. I mean, it happens. Adam killed it. His FFVP was Gabe Vincent. Listen, 39 DK points. I mean, you can't ask anything better than that. Manuel Quickly, 17.75. Decent, not bad, but he was 4,200. So I want more for 4,200. Ghost, Lyles, listen, we know what happened there. It happens, right? When you take a low value guy, this is the eye. That's why you don't build your roster around low value guys. So, Ghost, do you have a FFAP tonight?
I mean, it's not like he's gonna go completely under the radar, right? But for me, it's under that 4,500 range. It's gonna be Flynn and Vincent, and I don't have anybody else in my lineup under that threshold that qualifies. So they will be popular options. They're not exactly, hot take 1% rostered FFVPs like I usually try to give. They're gonna be popular, but for me, it's going to be Malachi Flynn, Gabe Vincent. And I'm hoping that, one eats into the other, right? Because like I was saying on DK, like if somebody's in love with another point guard that they want to play tonight, I'm playing Flynn, Vincent, like they're all point guard only eligible. So I'm curious to see where everyone lands, but for me, it's going to be the duo of Malachi Flynn and Gabe Vincent, 4,500 and 4,200 respectively.
So our boy Brian second and says his FFVP is Dwight Howard with Gabe and Flynn. Oh, with Gabe and Flynn opens a lot, so he's going Dwight Howard tonight. For
the only thing I'll say about that is I like it. It's just very boomer bust. So I know, Brian, that's what we always talk about, and that's why we have fun in the chat. Just know that if you're okay with that, then roll it out, because with the Clippers tonight, you might see LeBron at the 5 and a ton of Malik Monk, Westbrook, and Carmelo Anthony all out on the same court together, right? So that's the only thing. The Clippers don't really have they don't have like a true center that needs to be out there for 36 minutes. Ty Lue's going to be adjusting on the fly. So it's very boomer bust, but he can go 15 and 15 easily against his Clippers front court.
Yeah, that's
high risk, high reward. It's high risk, high reward. That's the only thing.
That's what we do, right?
But he knows that, and we always have fun with that in the chat too.
Yeah, that's the fun. That's why I do these DK specials. And listen, it is what it is, right? But I'm going real bargain basement with my FFVP tonight, and I love doing this. But I'm gonna go with the dead man. I'm gonna go with Dwayne Dedmon at 3,200 for Miami, specifically because you heard Ghost lay it out. Number one, it's a back-to-back. Miami, whenever they're going back-to-back, they like to sit players. They like to limit minutes, okay? So, again, when I look at this, P.J. Tucker, who I know Ghost's boy, was playing. He's questionable right now with a knee sprain.
Because his knees are sore. I don't just make that joke like out of nowhere. It's every back-to-back. He's questionable with a knee injury, man. Like it's not like it's not like I don't even know who rang the buzzer for the entire building there, but that scared the crap out of me. But it's someone just rang the buzzer to my entire condo building. It's like a really loud one. It's kind of like
I thought I heard that too. I was like,
no, it's kind of like a fire alarm. So that scared the crap out of me. I was
right?
like, let me see if the floor is hot in case I'm like mid show when my condo catches on fire. But like it's just that's like I just every back-to-back this man pops up on the injury report, sore knees every time. It's not just like it's kind of like a funny joke. Everyone knows I kind of joke about it, but it's on the injury report every time.
Yeah, and I know he's your boy, so I know he loves me some PJ Tucker, but
him and Evan Fournier, they're my best friends.
Oh, Fournier killed me last night. I knew, man. That's too I got killed by why do I do it to myself? I gotta stop. I gotta call 1-800-GAMBLER. I gotta stop. It's killing me, man. It's killing me. But listen, here's the thing: 3,200, Dedmon. Okay, going up against Brooklyn. I am not worried about my man Andre Drummond. Respect the guy. Love this time in Philly. Not the best defender in the world. He's going to get minutes tonight behind Bam. And again, $3,200 in a game where I think he could possibly get 15 to 20 minutes and give you 18 to 25 DK. So if this is your last guy, you build your roster construction and you use the FFVP on Dwayne Dedmon and he gets you 20 to 25, you're a happy man. You're probably going to cash as long as your core and everything else came into fruition. So I like the dead man tonight. Hey, I'm taking a shot. Like Go says, it's very, very low risk, very high reward as long as you use it wisely. Adam says, PJ Tucker heard you talking smack butts.
The one thing I'll say is I'm kind of messing around with my builds right now, right? With these duos, like I was saying, Steven Adams, like that Memphis Boston is what will dictate the rest of my build, right? And center is really interesting tonight because, like I was saying, I can't play two of them. I'm locked in on Malachi Flynn, Gabe Vincent. My point guard and utility spot are already taken up no matter what. And then you look at the centers, man. If Jimmy Butler is out and people try to get to Bam Adebayo, there you go. Like if people are trying to get to Bam Adebayo now, you're passing up on Robert Williams, who's good leverage over Jason Tatum chalk. You're passing up on Steven Adams. You're passing up on Clint Capela. Or if they go double center because they want two of those guys, that means that nobody's playing Dejounte Murray, which is even better.
Yes.
So it's like that's where, to me, just be very strategic with who you play at your center position tonight because that will dictate the slate. I'm telling you right now, we're going to be on the show tomorrow for Fajita Friday. Get ready.
Yes.
Fajita Friday. And we're gonna come back to this and say the center position absolutely made me a ton of money, or it killed my lineup, and that's what the entire slate will be. It's gonna be Clint Capela, Robert Williams, Steven Adams, Bam Adebayo. Like that's where, bro. I'm telling you, he does this to me every time. It's like it's. I'm telling you. It's like he does this to me every time. He's gonna come out of the room in a sling. He's gonna drop 45 and 10. That's what it is.
What is bad hair? Like, stop it,
it's
Trey.
Crazy.
Stop it, Trey. Just relax. Let's relax. So let's get into let's do some pros for profit. Let's get some plus money, some kind of plus money, something that maybe you could juice up and have fun with. I was like kid in the candy store tonight. I was all over the place, feeling good. Hit a bunch of SGPs like I showed you last night. I was all in on the Sixers. Sixers don't play tonight. But again, I am emulating my game right from Ghost, and I'm going. Again, I love Sabonis in my core. Now, this is a high number, but over 13 and a half rebounds for Sabonis at plus 105. It's not a stretch to me. He's been over the last 2 games. And again, if you look at Herro, I mean, listen, the guy was over 50 PRA in the second half. Man, so there's no reason for me to believe this isn't a 15 to 16 rebound night. So I'm going to go all in on Sabonis. I have no points props tonight. Okay. It's all the next 2 are all 3-pointers, which is normally not my style, but these 2 just stuck out to me. Number 1 is Mr. Dinwiddie. Over 1.5 3-pointers made plus 130. Again, I just go back and I look at what he's done. Now, that game we talked about, Golden State and Dallas. When you play Golden State, you're going to throw up a ton of shots to try to combat their 3-point prowess. Spencer Dinwiddie has been over 1.5 3-pointers made the last 3 games as he's getting his feet wet as a secondary scoring option, like we talked about for Dallas. So you're talking about a guy who's shooting about 50% from 3-point land, going up against Golden State. Okay, he's already averaging 4+ attempts. Tonight's probably going to be a 6 or 7 attempt night for Spencer. So 1.5 at plus money to me, at low risk, high reward, throwing a couple dollars on, and I'm good to roll. And this one to me, I tell Ghost pregame, I was shocked at this. So why Marcus Morris Sr. Is plus 150 on DK, over 2.5 3-pointers made. Just do me a favor. Go to DK, pull up Marcus Morris. Okay, that's all you have to do. Okay, and I'm going to tell you right now, if you look at this, over 2.5, there's only 2 times that he's been under 3-pointers made since January 23rd. He is consistently jacking up threes, man. Like he's all in. I'm telling you right now, I love this number. No doubt about it. I think, again, if you just look at it, 1, 2, 3 out of the past 5 games, he's hit this very easily. The Lakers, in my opinion, they're just falling apart right now. No AD. Their defense is just not there. So I think they'll jack a lot of threes up tonight, and I think this is a really good plus money bet. Again, low risk, high reward. That's where I'm going. So Ghost, right away, there you go. Derrick White. You stuck to it. I love it, man.
That's what it is. Derrick White, 15+. Someone's got to score with JB out.
Yeah, I mean, it's
easy.
Look at this already. Tucker out.
Yeah, no
Tucker
kidding.
Out.
No kidding.
I'm sorry. I'm all in on Dwayne Dedmon tonight. I'm sorry. I am so in on Dedmon tonight. I think he's going to kill it at 3,200, but we'll see. He's definitely going to be in one of my lineups. I love it. But it always makes me feel good. And then Ghost goes right to his core, man. This is a great one. I love this number.
Yeah, if you want to do the pizza bet, Thirsty Thursdays edition of Dejounte Murray triple-double, I'm cool with it. Just don't, spend wisely. Obviously, my official play is going to be Dejounte Murray over 41.5 PRA. But in order to do that, he's likely going to have to triple-double, if not come very close to it. Look, guys, you can grab Dejounte Murray rebounds plus assists. I'm cool with that number. This is just, of all the combinations, this was the best odds, right? So his points plus, his rebounds plus assists prop is a great one. It's likely going to be at minus 110. The triple-double odds aren't high enough for me to, take that risk. The points prop is, not exactly the biggest edge. Combine all 3 points, rebounds, and assists. The machine, Dejounte Murray, over 41.5.
The machine. I love it. He said the machine. I love that. So listen, just so everybody knows, we got something brewing here, which is going to be pretty cool. So we're going to make sure. Wait, hold on. Adam says right away, Trey is in. So there you go, Ghost. Trey is in. So I'm curious to see what his numbers will look like. But listen, make sure you're following WinDailySports.com. So what we're going to do is we're going to start doing something maybe next week if we get it put up, maybe the following week. But we talk a lot of props on here. So we got DFS and props. So obviously we like both of them. So we're me and Ghost, and Adam, we do more than just we put on the screen, right? So we're going to start putting a couple props. Yeah, look at that. I love it. We're going to do a couple props on here, and then we're also going to have maybe 3 or 4 more special ones we're going to put specifically on the site. So if you go to the site, you'll be able to follow that. Make sure you follow. Listen, all the affiliate links. You see FanDuel, you see Draftkings, Caesars, BetMGM, PointsBet. They're all in there. Click on them. It's free money. If you don't have an account, click on them. It's free money in your pocket to roll with at Bet. Obviously, you follow the Sharp app. That's your one-stop shop for all things sports betting. Gets all your books right there. Sponsor this show as well. So again, at Win Daily Sports, follow us on all social formats. For Tony, for Ghost. Okay, we're going to roll. We'll be back tomorrow night for Ghost. What is it called again? What's tomorrow night?
Friday. Fajita Friday. It's the best day of the week. It's the best day of the week. Fajita Friday.
Yeah, it's great. Listen, Friday's always a good night in the NBA. So I'm going to enjoy the Josh show tonight. I'm going to enjoy the Steph versus Lucas show. I hope you do well too. As always, follow us on Discord. Follow us at Twitter. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, and we will catch you right back here tomorrow night.